Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is one of my very favorite videos to film whenever I sit down and do a full face of Chantecaille, because I know it is always going to turn out being something that I like. Whenever I stick to this one brand that is one of my very favorites in the entire community of makeup, I know that my look is going to come out good no matter what I do. And the reason I'm doing a full face is because I have an early access code for you to use during the annual Sylvie sale for Chantecaille. So you're going to get 25% off site-wide. And when I say site-wide, I mean philanthropy is included. Y'all, this never happens. Since I have been a lover of Chantecaille, I don't think philanthropy has ever been included in the Sylvie sale. This year, it is. So you are also able to get 25% off the philanthropy collection, which is huge because some of my very favorites fall within that collection. And you're getting early access using my code for 3 days. So the sale starts for the public on Thursday the 27th, but if you use my code, you can start shopping on Monday the 24th of July. And the sale goes through July 30th. So I am very excited to show you this full look. I go over lots of products. So if you want to see how I got this look, hear about some of my favorites, see how I use them so that you can get 25% off, let's jump in. Let's go ahead and get started. I just love a full face of Chantecaille. Under eyes. I am almost out of this, so I will probably be stocking up on it myself during the sale. And this is the La Camouflage Stilo Anti-Fatigue Corrector Pen. This is in the shade number 3. Now, this is not the highest coverage corrector that I have, but as I have said many times, the older I get, the less I care about coverage and the more I care about wear. And this gives me a nice light coverage, little bit of that peachy undertone to help correct some of the darkness, but it wears really nicely over any concealer that I choose to put over it. Now, if you do not have a lot of darkness, then this is probably going to be all you need. But I do like to go in with a little bit of concealer on top of it. As far as foundation, I mean, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that I am a huge Chantecaille base product fan. There truly is not a foundation product that they have that I don't love. I often talk about my love for their compact makeup, which yay is included in the sale because it is in philanthropy. I'm gonna get to their gel foundation. I love their powder foundation, but one that I don't talk about as much, but it's not because I don't love it as much, is the Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer. So I think I'm going to use this one today. I am in the shade Nude. I can also wear the shade Glow, which is a little bit darker and more of like a summer shade for me, but I think I'm going to use Nude today. Now I'm going to mix it with the Sheer Glow Rose Face Tint, which I've talked a lot about in the past, loving as a mix-in with a lot of other of my foundations, but I have not shown it mixed with the tinted moisturizer. The tinted moisturizer actually has quite a bit of coverage in my opinion. Another product that is really pretty mixed with this is the Radiance Elixir, which is more of a serum consistency versus a balm moisturizer consistency like the one I'm going to use. This is really pretty mixed with any foundation as well if you want to sheer it out a little bit and add a little bit of luminosity. And you don't have to mix the rose face tint if you don't want to. In fact, you know what? I'm going to show you what it looks like as more of a primer. I'm not going to mix it. You could do it either way. So I'm going to take just a little bit and I'm going to put it on the high points of my cheeks, which is really where I want that glow. Look at that glow to come through. A little bit on my nose. I have used this in so many ways before on my channel. I love mixing it with the bronze face tint as like an all over makeup product, foundation type of product, but you can see just how beautiful that is. Now I'm gonna go on top of it with the Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer. This does have an SPF of 15, but I do not suggest relying on that as your SPF. I do have a separate SPF on underneath. It doesn't hurt to have a little bit more, and it's simply titanium dioxide. So you can still see a little bit of my redness coming through, but you can also see for a tinted moisturizer, I do think that it has a really solid coverage to it. It's a little bit thicker in consistency than the Future Gel foundation, but it doesn't look thick on the skin. Now I'm gonna take just a little bit more on my brush and just kind of build it up where my redness seems to be peeking out the most. It's a little buildable, but again, I don't care if my redness shows through some. That's skin. Like, if I was trying to mask it all, that's when I start kind of looking like I'm trying a little too hard. And again, as I get older, the less I want to look like I'm trying. So many times people equate getting older to something bad. I actually find it to A, be a privilege, and B, the wisdom that comes along with it is so freeing. That's just my opinion, but it's a solid opinion. So you can see, like, on my forehead, yes, there is a little bit of luminosity to that just skin, but it's really popping out where I put that rose face tint on underneath it, which is why I love combining that with really any foundation, because it just gives you that extra glow where most of us want that extra glow. Probably don't even have to talk about this as my concealer, but I'm gonna, because you can get 25% off. And it is the Future Skin Gel Foundation. Yes, this is a foundation. Yes, I love it as a foundation. Yes, I love it even more as a concealer. It is hands down my favorite concealer. I am in the shade Vanilla, and I'm getting pretty low. This is a very good amount of product. It is 1 ounce because it is foundation, and I use such a small amount when I use it as concealer, but it is dwindling, and that shows you how much I use it. Probably 75% of the time. I do have some other favorites if I'm wanting more coverage or just to change it up, but I always tend to go back to this one. It simply wears the best. Y'all, I told somebody the other day, they asked me how old I was, and I said 41, and then I was like, no, I'm not. I'm 42, and I'm actually closer to 43. It's wishful thinking, I guess, but no, I am 42, couple months shy of 43, so I appreciate something, again, that is going to wear nicely under my eyes, and I'm telling you, I just haven't found anything that wears better than this. I've had a lot of people ask me if they need to go a shade lighter than they wear in their foundation. I personally don't think so, especially if you already have it as a foundation. I would try it under the eyes in the color that you have. I don't like a super bright under eye. I can wear Vanilla as my foundation. I can also wear Nude, but I just personally don't think that you need to go out and purchase a whole other one in a separate color if you already have an existing one. Try that out first and see what you think. A few different powders that I love from Chantecaille. One of them, now this is limited edition packaging, but this is their Expert Blur Powder. And this is great if you are not a powder person. Maybe you have a little bit like in the middle of your face that you want to kind of blur and smooth out, but you really don't want it to look like you have any powder on your face. You really don't want anything to mattify heavily. This is gonna be your go-to for that. And I do like this a lot. The HD powder, HD perfecting powder. This is what I go for if I do want a little bit of mattifying to happen on the face. But again, it's still, none of these really look like powder on the face. But this definitely is the more mattifying out of all the ones that I have and talk about. And then this one is the Compact Makeup. So it is their powder foundation. You can see I have a nice size pan showing because I use and love this so much. And this is when I just want to really, really perfect the face. This to me makes everything look smooth, adds just a tad bit more coverage. I'd most definitely use this alone. I talk about this in my powder foundation video that I put up recently. I'll put a card up for that. And it's what I'm going to use today because out of the three, it is probably my favorite. It's the most versatile because, again, I find it works really good setting a regular foundation of your choice, but also by itself. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just press it into the skin and see, it just really perfects the face, in my opinion. Now, I got so happy and excited to use that I completely forgot to use the bronzer that I had every intention of using, and that is the Bronze Face Tint. But now that I have set my face with powder, I probably will not. However, I will show this to you and let you know that there are also many ways to use this. It is the same gel consistency as the Rose Face Tint, and it is so incredibly pretty. It has a very nice sheen to it, but you can see when you blend it out, it's not too stark bronze. So I have used this as my base product before. Again, I have mixed it with the Rose Face Tint as my base product. I have used it as a primer for a foundation. I have mixed it with foundations, and I have used it simply as my bronzer, and it works great in all and every way. So even though I had full intentions of using that today, at least I'm letting you know about it. Definitely check my channel for all of my Chantecaille. Just search Chantecaille in my channel page and it will bring up all of the videos. I'll try to post some that I have done in the past so you can see how I use some of these products. So let's just go ahead and use another favorite. This is the Serena bronzer. Now they just brought out a limited edition collection with very pretty summery aquatic packaging, and the Serena bronzer is included in that as well. This is just the regular packaging. They have two shades of bronzer, Serena and Goa. Serena is the lighter, warmer shade, and Goa is a little bit darker and has more red in it. However, I can use both. So I'm just gonna take this. It is a Baked Gelée formula, which to me means that it is going to really look like skin. I mean, you can see. It just has that really pretty sheen to it without making you look too dewy or sweaty, because that's definitely not what I'm going for. And I just prefer this shade, especially in the summer, because it has a little bit of that warmer undertone. Now let's talk about blush. They have gel blushes, which I really love. Again, I've used those in many videos. My very favorite are the Philanthropy blushes. They look like little pebbles. They're the cutest little packaging. I will try to put up a picture that I put in one of my last videos where I swatched all of them. There's not a single one that I don't like, but I would say I probably have my favorites. Joy is a really pretty pink color. That's probably my favorite pink shade. And then Coral is actually the Laughter one, and it is a gorgeous coral shade. But again, I don't have one that I don't like. I'm going pretty neutral on the eye today, as well as on the lip, but I think I'm going to use Grace, which is the Sea Turtle. If you're not familiar with Chantecaille's Philanthropy collection, they have a certain foundation or charity that they give to depending on what is sold. So this one is gonna help the sea turtles. Their eyeshadows, the luminescent eyeshadows, will help whatever is on the front. So this is the Cheetah, which is one of my favorite shades. And I've always said that yes, Chantecaille is a little bit more on the expensive side. A, it's luxury makeup. B, it performs. So for that alone, I don't really mind paying it, but knowing that they give back so much like they do makes it even easier for me to buy their products. So that was Grace Sea Turtle. All of these make beautiful eyeshadows as well. I'm a big proponent for using blushes as eyeshadows, but not all blush formulas work that well on the eyes. These, however, do. Now for a highlight, they come out with a lot of limited edition highlights. I have many of them and I love many of them, but because you can't get many of them, I'm not gonna show them right now. But one thing you can get all the time is their Liquid Lumiere Face Illuminator, and this is in the shade Sheen. Honestly, would last me probably 2 years if this is the only highlighter I ever used. That is how much product you get and how little you need. But this is a very beautiful gel highlight. So pretty, but very natural once you shear it out on the skin. So I like to just kind of mix a little bit on my fingers and just lightly tap it in. Now remember, I have that rose sheen underneath, so I don't need a ton, but see how pretty that is? And the more you kind of rub it in, the more natural it's gonna come off on the skin. This is also something that's pretty as an underpainting tool. So if you want to put a little bit of a heavier amount underneath your foundation, like I did with the rose tint, it's gonna come out even more and look very pretty. If you want a big dose of luminosity in your foundation, you can definitely mix this in with it. I like mixing this in with the gel blushes for a luminous cheek shade. Beautiful. All of their products are so versatile, and this is no different. So to finish off the face before we go in the eyes, I am going to use my very favorite Chantecaille Rose Water. This is their 25-year anniversary special limited edition packaging. I have gone through countless bottles of the regular packaging, and it is just a beautiful hydrating spray. You could spray this over and over and over and over again on top of your makeup throughout the day. Let's do eyes. Do I ever do complicated eyes? No. Do I use eyeliners very much? No. However, when I tend to do Chantecaille looks, I tend to always pull out my Luster Glide Silk Infused eyeliners because they're one of my favorite formulas. They are very easy to work with. They have some playtime. They can be smudged out, which is my favorite way to use a pencil eyeliner. And I'm not quite sure where I'm gonna go with this look, other than I do think I'm gonna start out with the black liner, which I don't use very often. But I'm gonna do just a very faint line right there on the lash line, and then take some kind of stiffer synthetic brush and quickly smudge that out and up. So see how it's giving that very, I do this all the time with these liners. They're just, the formula is so good. And if you're like me and not really a liner person in the sense that you don't like a super harsh line the majority of the time on your lash line, definitely look into these and do it like this, because it still gives that definition to your lash line, which is what a liner is meant to do. But with it smoked out like this, it's not harsh. It doesn't weigh your eye down. They have a lot of different colors. I also have Jasper, which is a must if you like a coppery brown, and then Amethyst, which is a very pretty plum color. Really, you're not gonna go wrong with any of the colors. And honestly, I could leave this, I could put some mascara on and this be my eye look. So much I love it, because it just makes a world of difference in my opinion. But something super easy that I know I've done before on my channel, but that I can't stress enough, is one of the prettiest ways to do your eye makeup in a very fast way as well, is to just take some kind of really pretty shimmery shade and top your lid after you've done this with your eyeliner. And I love the mermaid eye colors. I have 4 of those: Copper, Sylvie, Triton, and Seashell. Seashell is the newest one to my collection, and it's a very pretty, just kind of gold color. These are very, very pretty. Y'all, I don't know which one I want to use. Let's take Seashell. So I'm going to put this, these are best in my opinion used with the finger, and I'm just going to lightly tap on the lid, and see I'm covering that eyeliner, but it almost makes it pop even more when I put a little bit of a shimmer shade on top. And I'm not even going to do anything in my crease, y'all, so I'm just going to kind of blend that all the way up. If you really wanted the eyeliner to be even more kind of pop, you can either make sure you start the shimmer shade above the liner, or you can go back in and do just a tiny, see this like, boop, tiny little bit, and then go back and smudge that out. So you get a little bit more of that definition on top. I like it both ways. I don't know that I've ever even done one that's this simple without doing a crease color, but I'm not going to. Now I am gonna put a little bit of something down underneath my eyes, and I'm just going to simply take the blush shade that I used in Grace and smudge a little bit of that under the eye. And this is simply because I really like doing this step. I feel like it completes my makeup, but it's also a way to incorporate the blush shade that you used in your eyes, like I spoke about, which really pulls the whole look together. Now I'm going to do mascara. It's very repetitive. I do mascara in some of my videos, but I feel like nobody really wants to see it over and over again. So I'm gonna do it off camera, but I have to talk about my very favorite. I mean, y'all, this is my favorite mascara of all time, and it's the Chantecaille Longest Lash Faux Cils. I don't know how many of these I have gone through, but I do know I always have a backup. This has some almost growth factor properties within the formula that I truly feel like make my eyelashes grow longer and stay healthier when I use this and consistently use this versus any other mascara in my collection. The sale is a great time to stock up because you are getting 25% off. And I mean, you'll see. I just don't have another one that makes my lashes look quite this good. So I'm going to do this off camera, and then we'll come back to finish off with lips and, of course, some fragrance. All right, let's talk about lips. I am a huge lover of their lip products. Their lip cheeks are some of my favorite. And when you see any kind of limited edition collection come out from them, and it includes a lip cheek or a lip veil for that matter, and you think you might like the color, I would snatch it up. I have 4 lip veils right here. I have Honey Pot, which is probably my most used. It's a very pretty pinky nude. Surprise, surprise. Rock Rose is definitely darker, but it is a more berry rose undertone. Moabi is a brighter pink, very pretty. And then I think the one I'm gonna use today is called Tambodi. No, I know it's called Tambodi, but I think this is the one I'm going to use. No, I'm not. I'm going to use Moabi. I'm going to do a little bit of a pinker lip, but this is Tambodi, which is a very pretty, just brown nude. But let's do a little bit of Moabi. These are very moisturizing, and the color payoff is beautiful. I really like that pink, but I can't not top it with a gloss because that's who I am, and this is one that you can see I obviously love very much, and it is the Gloss in Charm. Their glosses have a brush applicator, and that's just a kind of pale milky pink, but it doesn't, like you can see, it doesn't really alter the color of the lip. So that is the finished makeup look. Let's talk about 3 of my favorite summer perfumes from Chantecaille, because we cannot forget about their perfumes. Quickly, Frangipani is my absolute favorite that they have. This is a yellow floral, warm, sweet, thick, beautiful scent. Like, really puts you in the tropics wearing this. If you are more of a white floral lover, then definitely check out Petals, P-E-T-A-L-E-S. This is more of a gardenia-based white floral scent, which is also very pretty. And then Tiare is so pretty. This is like Hawaii in a bottle to me. So again, all of these are pretty floral. If you like floral and sweet, go with Frangipani. If you like the more white floral classics, go with Petals. And then Tiare is kind of in the middle where you're gonna get just that tropical vacation, but it's not as sweet as Frangipani. I don't feel like I hear enough people talk about Chantecaille perfumes, so I had to give a little bit of a spotlight. It's definitely not the only ones that I have, but they are my favorite ones to reach for this time of year. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Be sure and take advantage of this early access. I know things tend to sell out quickly because this type of sale doesn't come around very often. So I will have everything listed and linked. I do use affiliate links, so if you choose to use them, you are helping to support my channel, and I appreciate that. And again, the code is Mandy25 to get your 25% off. So thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.